the last 16 months, I think, or I believe, the businesses have really empowered a lot more of their employees or team members to really go ahead and do something new. If there was one of the pieces of learning that you want to share with the audience, what would that be?
I think for me, it comes down to communication and collaboration. So I think a lot of us, we work with so many smart people, but we tend to kind of in a moment where, hey, we have to act fast, we have to act quickly. I think that certain groups could be left out that would have huge insight and input into what you're trying to innovate on. So I would say, like, watch out for those silos that tend to happen when we're going quickly. I think that it's really in the cross sharing and being able to cross share a lot of our data. I just know from our experience where I've heard certain people go, oh, well, we don't have that. We can't measure that. I'm like, no, yeah, we do. We do, and we can. Or, it might not be perfect, but we could take a little bit of this data, a little bit of that. You should talk to so-and-so over there. They've been working on something similar. And then that's how we actually start accelerating and innovating and getting more, just a better process overall and a better innovation.
That's a great point, Christine. And I know as a lot of the companies are sort of moving back to office or maybe a hybrid model somewhere in between, right? I think one of the things that we think about a lot at NetElixir is how can you really sort of manage when you have 3 people in the conference room who are in person, and then there are 3 people who are joining remote, right? Don't forget about those folks who are sort of remote, right? Because normal human tendency is to really focus on as to who's sitting with you. So those are the things. And the other part which you mentioned, I think, is extremely important as well. There are those silent ones who, in the normal in-person world, may not really have gotten heard as much. Now, I believe the last 16 months, they have been able to really make their presence felt a lot more. So again, great points, Christine. Yeah. Aaron, anything specific? Any big learning that you want to share?
Yeah, I think people need to either appoint a chief risk officer or dust off the risk management playbook. If anything, a pandemic out of nowhere teaches you is that you need to kind of think through where you're exposed, preferably not when you're exposed, but beforehand, and have contingency plans in place, especially when it comes to supply chain, no question, but also on the marketing side too. So, if Amazon goes down tomorrow and you're 80% Amazon, make sure you have a Shopify site to sell on, just thinking through everywhere that you're exposed and putting into place some kind of a contingency plan, even if it bears some cost, is probably worth it.
Yeah. Thank you. Michelle, you want to?
Yeah, I agree with Christine on the diversity of thought is key. The contingency plan that Aaron talked about is also important. And I would also, be careful on complacency. You have to be able to expect the unexpected. And if you're comfortable, you're paralyzing your innovation, right? And I think for so long we ran business, as it was. This is the way we've been doing business. It's been working for us. And when the pandemic came, we were so caught off guard that, a lot of us just couldn't breathe. So just always knowing that, things like a pandemic or other things really could come and shift. And you just need to be able to take that step back, pivot, and be willing to roll with it and not be so caught up in what we think that we know.
That's a fantastic point, Michelle. I mean, one of the parts which has been sort of written about a lot is complacency as well as overconfidence as well. I got this figured out, right? That means this is the formula.
Right.
Those are the things which both can be quite harmful, as I think the pandemic has really made us a lot more humble, hopefully.
Yes.
So, Luis, please.
I would say maybe don't discount completely the anecdotal. To Christine's point, I think there's places where there's small pieces of data or comments or people that are feet on the street where they've seen something or they've heard something or they've had an interaction directly with a consumer that may feel anecdotal or one-off. But I think in many cases, those tend to turn into sometimes trends and eventually an opportunity that could be missed if they're always completely discounted. So I would say, especially in this ever-changing dynamic environment that we're in today, sometimes those anecdotal things turn into opportunities.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. I know we have about 3-4 minutes left still. Any sort of comments from any one of the panelists to wrap up this session? I mean, we still have a couple of minutes left. Aaron, Christine, Louis, and Michelle, it has been a delightful discussion, though.
Yeah, I think my only other comment is, so I think so many of us have been going full speed ahead during this time, nonstop, trying to innovate and push our businesses and keep team morale up. And I think that one thing that is very key for innovation is really creating the time and space to just recharge and be able to think critically and creatively. So that's just something that I've been encouraging my team to do is, use the PTO, take your time off, but we're okay now, and then also setting some time that is meeting free time so that they can just, think about their work or think about larger problems.